They did align with us because they do believe in us. But yeah, this one is the riskiest direction.
Welcome to the second episode of Building a Brand Season 2. In the previous episode, we stepped into the world of Jurassic Fruit and uncovered who they are at their core. We understood what sets them apart in a crowded market and mapped the final positioning angle. Taste the untamed. Now comes the real challenge. How do you take an idea that powerful and turn it into a world people can actually see and feel? In this episode, we take the defined positioning and carry it forward into strategy and art direction. This is where strategy meets visual expression, and the untamed spirit of Jurassic Fruit starts to come alive. Our goal is clear: translate research and positioning into a structure and a visual language that feels raw, real, and unmistakably Jurassic. Want to see how we bring it to life? Subscribe and follow along.
A brand strategy is a long-term plan that defines the core values, tenets, vision, mission, purpose, and how this all connects to the core audience. A good way to think about it is like brand strategy is a compass. It's not a map. It points you in the right directions. What it essentially helps is in making the right decisions for the brand in terms of the visual identity of the brand, how the brand needs to communicate, and how you want the customers to feel. Without the brand strategy, you don't have any objective method of determining what is right or wrong for the brand.
So while doing strategy, we started with a very simple belief that fruit shouldn't feel industrial. It should feel alive. That we have to invite the world to bite into the wild with us. This was our foundational statement, and whatever didn't align with it was cancelled out. The purpose was very grounded. We wanted to celebrate nature's purest and honest flavors, grown the way nature intended it to be, and we didn't want to sound artificial, so it was all about showing the imperfections, showing your raw side, showing your natural side. A very interesting activity that helps us define the strategy is when we personify the brand. So for Jurassic, the end result was this would be that person or that friend who's very adventurous, who's very loud and like very free-spirited, not exactly very bold or edgy or intimidating. And this personification of the brand also led us to craft the tone of voice for the brand, how the brand communicates. The TOV has to be expressive but not very bold or intimidating or loud. We're a modern, responsible brand. We can't be too rebellious, too bold, too edgy or outrageous. And we had to find a balance between going too bold and being too subtle. The other challenge was that the raw side or the wild side can also look very unhygienic or too raw to consume.
Once the strategy was locked in, the next step was to translate it visually. What does adventurous look like? How do you make wild and untamed feel refined and curious feel premium? And this time we are not diving into art directions. We are adding another layer to it by taking up Moodboards first.
An art direction is Moodboard on a lot of steroids. So why are we really working with Moodboards then? Because Moodboards help us to explore a lot of different possibilities in a shorter amount of time. For brands where the final direction is not very clear and there are a lot of ideas on the table through multiple stakeholders, generally Moodboards are a better bet. So let's say the time allocated for exploration was X. In this amount of time, if we had to present art directions, we could have come up with, let's say, 3 or 4 different art directions. But when we are working with Moodboards, we internally explored over 20 different moods or styles for the brand, and then we shortlisted 4 that we could present to the client. So this gives us more room to explore internally, and we can lay out all the possibilities on the table for the clients. Once the client selects a mood of the brand, then we can actually get into the art direction side of things, where we can explore the different colors, fonts, typography. So we can explore all of that in an art direction. So in essence, Moodboards are helping us to explore, and art direction is helping us to commit.
So the first mood board that we presented was the journey of a fruit. And it basically entails the complete life cycle of a fruit from soil to the plate. What we are focusing on in this mood board is lush green colors to represent the nature, earthy tones to represent the soil, and tactile nature of the fruits in order to show the textures of the fruits itself. The advantage of this kind of mood board is that we want to build a story-led brand which roots in authenticity, and we are able to tie in the regenerative farming that Jurassic Fruit is already practicing.
So I think the cons of this direction could be that it could look very common. It's a little mundane. A lot of brands use very similar earthy tones when they're building like a brand in a fruit domain and like a vegetable domain. Differentiation could be a challenge in this one. The second concept is Ethereal, which is rooted in premium cleanliness. The focus is on airy composition, soft lighting, and refined textures that make the fruit feel luxurious yet natural. It perfectly communicates freshness, quality, and trust. So it will appeal to consumers who will equate purity with premiumness. I think that could be a major factor here. Additionally, I think it creates a clean, sophisticated visual identity that kind of elevates the brand, and it looks beyond typical produce brands.
So I think the pros and cons of this particular mood board is the same. It's too clean. It provides a sense of great luxury, but then we are like alienating a lot of customers because of this kind of look and feel. So that is one of the major cons that I think of.
The third direction is fruits as mascots. Yeah, I think this one builds a narrative around each fruit, and it gives them a personality and origin story through visuals and playful stickers. So that's the coherent style in this one. And it uses like these Japanese inspired graphics somewhere where there is a cross-sectional photography, and it's like a bento style layout. It makes the overall brand a lot fun, relatable, and distinctive.
The ideation behind the mood board is pretty strong. We are using a lot of retro and poppy colors in this mood board. I like the fun angle that we are bringing to the brand. We are playing with a lot of shapes.
When I see this cohesively, like out of all the directions, this has a risk of visual clutter. Since this is a product focused business, too much information could distract the end consumers from the actual product, which would be our hero, which would be the fruit. Another thing that I can think of, like these shapes right now, it works because these are very recognizable fruits. Like apple, everyone recognizes from its shape, but this one is an exotic fruits brand, so most people can't recognize exotic fruits from its like outline shape. So I think that could also be a problem and challenge, which we might have to think of if we get into this direction. Overall, I think I like this direction also.
We have the fourth mood board that was purely focused on bringing the realness and rawness of these exotic fruits into picture. So we've used a lot of gray colors, textures in order to show the real side of the fruits that we are actually producing. So this mood board as a concept is the strongest one that we as a team like.
And I think it also plays into the name of the brand, Jurassic Fruit. So this direction kind of embodies that very well.
And our positioning is Taste the Untamed. And I think this mood board is about that wilderness. You talked about the dark colors. The drawback is that it would be difficult on the packaging side of things. The brand might not feel warm. But if you want to capture the essence correctly, this is a pretty strong mood board. This one lacks fun, but if we can add some more colors to it, then this is probably a good place to start.
It invokes the most curiosity out of all the directions that we have presented. I think the entire team is favoring this one, and I think you also favor this one the most.
Right.
But let's see. Like I quite like it, but I also like the third one. Let's move on to the next step, present it to the clients and see what their feedback is on this. And based upon this, we'll do the complete art direction.
With all 4 mood boards ready, one stood apart. In a world full of colorful fruit brands, we were pushing for the most unconventional one. The 4th mood board. It used dark and moody tones, a choice that instantly stood out, but also went against every expectation for a fruit brand. Now it was time for Yogesh and Rahul to take all four into the client presentation and see where the conversation leads.
This is a risky direction inherently. They did align with us because they do believe in us. But yeah, this one is the riskiest direction. But the good news is they have approved the fourth one.
No, I understand their concerns, but whatever we've discussed or agreed so far, this is the right direction for the brand. This is what needs to be done. And like with Chahat and the team, I think we'll be able to pull out something that resonates with them and also helps them stand out in the market, establish that that untamed positioning that we've finalized for the brand.
With the client aligned and the mood board logged in, we finally had a visual path. But choosing the riskiest path comes with its own set of challenges. From here, the real work began. We moved from mood boards into art direction, turning that bold foundation into a visual language that the brand could grow with.
So we got the approval on the fourth mood board. We have essentially just created one, and we are so confident on that mood board that we feel that should be the right direction. So we've also kind of designed a backup art direction because we wanted to reduce that risk. So it's more on the safer end, I would say. But let's just review both of them and see how the team has come up with these ideas. There are a lot of things going on for this direction, but it has a lot of textures. But we have also muted the tones a lot because again, we wanted the fruit to be the hero, which is something that we talked about in the mood boards also. So there are a lot of blacks, beiges and browns. The typography is clean. We have tried to keep a rooted elegance with a modern clarity in them. And for the imagery, we have used macro and landscape shots.
So we are playing on the tactile nature of the fruit. So a lot of focus has gone into the textures and the detailing. And the art direction also captures the rawness that we've talked about a lot from the beginning itself. A little bit of skepticism stems from the fact that it's a little too dark.
Which brings us to the safer one.
So the second art direction that we have is inspired by the first mood board, from soil to table. In this one, we've played along with a lot of curves in order to show the journey of the fruit. We've added a lot of poppy colors in this, so we are having yellows, greens, and this adds a warm, approachable feel to the brand. From these things, we've kept all the other brand elements pretty minimal in order to make sure that our fruits are focused upon.
So yeah, I think this one is a backup. So we just kept it so that if they don't actually like the first one, we have something else to also propose them with. And then of course we can refine it based upon their feedback. So might as well not make it to the call. If they like the first one, we might not even show this one.
We're aligned on the first concept.
Oh, I think it works quite good.
And with the art direction, Untamed Roots selected, that wrapped up the second phase of building Jurassic Fruit. Through mood boards and visual exploration, we shaped the strategy into a tangible world the brand could grow into. The direction we proposed came with a risk. It pushed the boundaries of what the brand had done before, but it captured the spirit of Jurassic in a way that felt honest and powerful. In the next episode, we take this foundation further as we bring the visual identity to life through logo explorations, color palettes, and typography. If you are enjoying this journey, consider hitting the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next episode. This is Simple Plan Media, and you're watching Building a Brand Season 2.